Are we graphic designers going to soon be replaced by machines? So back in 2013, a research paper by Oxford University outlined the probability of specific occupations being replaced by intelligent machines by the year 2033. Graphic designer was not on the list, and it seems that this term was too broad for their study, but photographer, interior designer, and art director were on the list. What do you think the probability of art director becoming obsolete by the year 2033 was? Well, according to Oxford, it was calculated at 0.023 or 2.3%. So that's a pretty low probability, but let's take a closer look into this subject and see how the future might pan out for us graphic designers. And in this video, you might be surprised to see how close the future is to today. But first, we need to look at exactly what graphic design is. And maybe you do know what graphic design is, or maybe you think you know. The primary purpose of graphic design is to communicate ideas to an audience effectively using standard design principles. The goal might be to trigger someone to take action or expose them to an idea, a concept, or information. Graphic design objectives happen through a combination of fundamental design practices, strategic composition, and a little bit of creativity too. Principles such as hierarchy, contrast, and proximity are some of the essential ingredients for successful design. So, graphic design is a way to communicate to people as a means to get them to do something. And before the internet splurged into our lives, graphic design utilized media such as direct mail, billboards, and print advertisements to achieve business goals. The designers who existed back then have had to adapt to technology advancing, otherwise they would simply fall off the map for the most part and would struggle to find clients today. You see, graphic design can at times be a tricky career because designers often have to adapt to the advance of technology and the industry evolving at large. You might have even felt this in your own career. New tools and new skills are continuously being developed to adjust and navigate this complex progression. So when I was first studying graphic design, motion graphics wasn't really a thing that many people knew about or dabbled in, but nowadays it's something many graphic designers can do or aspire to do. But yeah, a graphic designer these days often dabbles in many areas of design such as coding, 3D design, motion graphics, and so on. But what happens when the tools being made are machine learning artificial intelligence? Designer John Gold has been trying to apply machine learning into graphic design. Field has a stunning portfolio website, and one project he worked on saw that he created a digital 3D structure with the help of an algorithm. And this was to render over 10,000 images of this structure from various angles and vantage points. The final part of the process was hand editing the output of the program and making sure each image was sufficiently stunning to be used commercially. So here we see a designer who has knowledge of coding and AI, but also has knowledge of core design principles. It's kind of like a team of designer and robot, which, when you think about it, isn't too far from what we're doing now with Adobe software. A lot of our workflow is pretty much already automated. Consider some of those tasks that would have been completed manually years gone by, things such as typesetting. But also think about all of the automated things that happen in Adobe Illustrator, aligning mathematical calculations, duplicating an object perfectly, and so on. Maybe this is just a natural progression of the next step up as designer evolves with robots, or is it robot evolving with designer? Well, going back to our friend John Field, he's quoted in saying, "I'm building design tools to integrate intelligent algorithms with the design process. Tools that try to make designers better by learning about what they're doing, what we're doing, augmenting rather than replacing designers." So yeah, it seems that the robot is becoming more of a keyhole in the design process, but isn't taking over just yet. Another example of how algorithms are being more accessible and easy to use for designers is an app that I've had a lot of fun with called Pixlab. Now this app is free to download, but it's filled with a lot of ads all over the place. I guess the creator for this algorithm really has a thirst for money. Anyway, this app allows you to do some really neat things to imagery in a matter of seconds. It can apply some insane filters to your images, and seen on screen are some examples I've been playing around with. This kind of software wasn't even envisioned 30 years ago, let alone being free to even non-designers to make use of. We are merging closer with AI with each passing year. And like we said about designers failing to adapt and sinking, I think we will need to move into areas of tech and AI to survive as graphic designers. History tells us that we shouldn't be worried and that designers are always in charge. Since the dawn of time, we have been augmenting our limited physical capabilities in one way or another, even going way back to using opposable thumbs to fashion and grip tools. With each development in technology, the role of designer has changed. We've likely all felt the pressure to add more strings to our bow, so to speak, learn to code or pick up some motion graphic knowledge, and as designers we're now more involved in multiple areas of creation than ever before. It's perfectly plausible that some of the next skills we must embrace are based around machine intelligence. This likely isn't going to happen overnight, so don't worry, you won't wake up tomorrow and be expected to write a code for an AI bot. But it's obvious to see that this is the general progression for the future. If I had to offer advice to somebody who's now just starting out in graphic design, it would be for sure to learn some coding, most likely Python. But hey, neither me or anybody can predict the future, and so this is just all kind of educated guesswork. Technology is after all an extension of man, and the designer will likely always oversee the robot. Or is machine learning going to get to a point where it can teach itself to be faster and more creative than man? Or is this even possible? Let me know what you think down below. So I partnered up with the International Open Academy to create a course on how to create and run a successful graphic design business. This course goes into a whole lot of detail on how to do that, and I offer some tips and some advice on how to get to where you want to be as a graphic designer in this space. Setting up and running a business can be quite confusing and some people get lost along the way. So this course really outlines where you need to be going and what you need to be doing step by step. There's only one more day left on this awesome discount of 92% off, which ends the 1st of May. So if you want to enroll and learn how to run a graphic design business successfully, do click the link down below. And of course, if you want to see more videos about graphic design, do click one on the screen. And until next time, design your future today. Peace.